Hello, Mr. Nobody here.
In search of the truth.
Today's short video is about Darwin's theory of evolution and natural selection. There's a lot of controversy over whether or not this theory should be discarded. So what we're going to do today is look directly at what Darwin himself had said, and we'll just save the opinions for the TV documentaries. Where does the evidence lead? That's what we're going to look at. We should not be afraid of the truth. Now, why should you listen to me? I mean, after all, I am just a nobody. Well, you shouldn't just take my word for it. You should research these things on your own. Look, it doesn't matter if you believe in evolution or not. I, for one, do not subscribe to the notion that you have your truth and I have mine. Now, you may have your opinion, and I certainly have mine, but truth is that which conforms to reality. If a scientist put out a paper stating that 2 plus 2 equaled anything other than 4, why, he would be laughed out of the scientific community. So let's stick with the truth. Let's stay within the borders of reality. People who have based their beliefs outside of reality often do some strange and crazy things. So we're going to look at the facts about evolution, let the chips and preconceived notions fall where they may. Fact. Darwin published his book on the origin of species in 1859. The basic idea is that one kind of animal developed into another kind of animal through many slight variations or mutations. Darwin believed in the adage, natura non facit saltum. Nature takes no sudden leaps. That it would take a long period of time and a lot of failed experiments, in other words, a lot of intermediate links that didn't survive but died off, for one kind of animal to develop into another kind of animal. Is that what he found in the geological record? Well, as we see in chapters 6 and chapters 9 of his book, Darwin goes over some of the problems with his theory. To Darwin's credit, he gave the good with the bad. He gave the facts and allowed you to make your own decisions. Did he find what he expected to see in the geological record? A quote from his book.
Why, if species have descended from other species by insensibly fine graduations, do we not everywhere see innumerable transitional forms?
So I guess the answer is no. He's stating here that he does not find the fossils to support his theory. Another question he addresses:
why is not all nature in confusion instead of the species being, as we see them, well defined?
Why don't we see half horse, half human centaurs, or mermaids, or giraffe-a-doodles, or Doberman primates? No, the kinds of animals that we have are all well defined. So these are some of the questions that he acknowledges in his book, and chapter 9 is where we find his answers. Finally, let's get to the answers.
The explanation lies, as I believe, in the extreme imperfection of the geological record.
Well, that was then, and this is now. No one will argue that we don't have enough fossils now. Remember, that was 1859, and since then, scientists everywhere have been hoping to be the one. And you know what I mean, the one, to find the missing link, right? Ooh, that would make him famous, or he or she would finally get that long-awaited grant. So we know that they have been looking hard for these missing transitional forms between various kinds of animals, but they're not there. And it's not just one missing link. It's not just one link in the chain. There needs to be a series of intermediate fossils linking 2 kinds of animals or 4 kinds of animals. Heck, all of the animals that we have in existence today, where are the links? Where are the fossils? They are not there. Even when you go back to the beginning. If you go back through history in the geological record, you see a bunch of names that are hard to pronounce. You might recognize this one though, the Jurassic period. Of course, that's when dinosaurs roamed the earth. If you keep digging down to the Earth's past, you come to the Cambrian period and what is known as the Cambrian explosion. An explosion of life, from single-cell organisms to highly complex and diverse life in a geological instant. Now, if you dig down even deeper to the pre-Cambrian period, mainly there were just single-cell organisms. The only multi-cell organisms were like jellyfish and worms and the like. But in the geological instant, there was an explosion of life and new body forms. Most of the body forms that we have even today suddenly appeared during this time. Animals with vertebrae, skin on the outside and skeletal structure on the inside. Arthropods, hard shell on the outside, flesh on the inside. Jellyfish, sponge, animal with eyes, big animals, small animals. Darwin thought that if his theory was true, then they would find many transitional forms in the Precambrian period. There would have to be transitional forms from single-cell organisms to highly complex and varied animals. There would have to be, but there is not. There are no transitional forms in the Precambrian period, in the Cambrian period, or the Jurassic period, or the Cretaceous period, or the Devonian period, and Darwin states,
to the question why we do not find records of these vast primordial periods, I can give no satisfactory answer.
You know, it's okay to say, I don't know sometimes. You don't have to have the answer to everything, but this is driving evolutionists crazy. What does this do to Darwin's theory? In his words,
we have seen that species of a group sometimes appear to have come in abruptly, and I have attempted to give an explanation of this fact, which, if true, would have been fatal to my views.
He's saying that if we don't find some transitional forms soon, my theory is dead. Folks, the lack of transitional forms has been known for a very long time. Even Darwin knew it and freely admits it. So why are we holding on to a theory that simply isn't true? It can be found in this phrase. Some hold to the worldview that God is nowhere, and some hold to the worldview that God is now here. And if evolution isn't true, then you give ammunition to those who say that there is a God. Plain and simple, don't believe me? Just look up some of the quotes from Richard Dawkins, famous scientist and atheist. Look, there have been many articles and books published on the death of Darwin's theory by notable scientists, mathematicians, and even evolutionists. I don't care if you believe in evolution, or God, or space aliens, but remember, a belief not based in reality is pretty much the definition of crazy, and certainly is not scientific. Fact: a lack of transitional forms is the demise of natural selection. And this is as stated by Darwin himself. Fact: there are no transitional forms. I don't care where it leads, I just want to know the truth. I want my beliefs based in reality. I encourage you to forward this to a friend to spread the news. People deserve to know the truth. I also encourage you to hit the like button on Facebook and leave a comment. These things help more people to become aware of this video. And if you know of a museum with Precambrian transitional form fossils, please let me know. In fact, if you know where there is a series of fossils showing the gradual change of one kind of animal into another kind anywhere in the world, then please let me know. I'm only interested in discovering the truth. I don't care where it leads, just as long as it's the truth. Finally, Lucy is not a transitional form. I know you saw the picture of her fossil, but know this: the fossil is only 40% complete, and it came from 3 different areas, probably 3 different animals. At best questionable, at worst a fraud. Bottom line, there needs to be a series of bones, not just one set, showing a transition from one kind of animal to another. So show me the bones or go home. Mr. Nobody?
In search of the truth.
Signing off.